France, pay off your loan, man. You're high on aggressive expansion. I'd like to steal Navarra. I'd like to have another subject. 2 to 3 is the number that I like. Aragon has declared war upon Castile. They cite Conquest as their casus belli. Well, we have no truce with Aragon. But Castile's my rival, so I can't rent condottieri to him. And that's the only person he's at war with. Wait a second, didn't Castile stop being a valid rival? They did. He's not my rival. Which means we could rent our troops out to him. We have equal tech. We could just rent the whole army out. There's no threat from anyone right now. No one can attack me. We have a truce with these two. We have a truce with Castile. Aragon's distracted, and then we're allied to France. So if we just rent our whole army out to Castile and park it in Teruel, we could probably be safe there. And if we allow him to have free reign on Castile, it's just going to make him harder to beat in the future. So it's in our own best interest to stop him as best we can. I'm going to do it. I'm going to wait until we have at least one little bit of morale, but I think that hiding in the mountain of Teruel is going to be enough to keep us safe. We definitely want to have maximum morale before we do it, though. This is a pretty good general that we have versus Aragon's 2-1. I'd feel even better if we had Tech 5 versus his Tech 4. We recover 21% morale per month. We're at 57%, so in 2 months, I think we'll do that. Yep, we'll tell Galicia to attach, but no, you can't rent out condottieri from your subjects. Oh hey, like argument number 17. The troops that he hires with the force limit that shouldn't exist, he pays for those. In addition to having the 100 manpower per month, which basically doubles our manpower recovery rate, he fields the maintenance cost for that army. He's not going to be able to give us as much money because he can't afford the upfront cost, but that's okay. We could have subsidized him for a month. Would have been wise, actually. Actually, let's I'm gonna squirrel that. We should have taken advantage of that exploit. Squirrel! Oh my gosh, it's been a whole hour since I took a picture of the kitten. That's it's just not frequent enough. We need more pictures, clearly. I need to make more coffee, I think. Why Rum Gone? So we're going to fall back to like November, which is fine. Can you get achievements with the released nation? Yep. Of course. We're eligible for all of these achievements. Alright, so what we'll do then is we're going to start subsidizing him now. This is definitely an exploit, I think, and also tedious, and I hate it. I wish they'd just get rid of it. So when you look to rent troops to a nation, the amount that they're willing to pay cannot exceed their treasury, and it cannot exceed their monthly income. So if you look at Castile, he can't afford to pay more than 4.12 ducats a month in income, and he also can't afford to pay more than 102 in treasury. So the reason why he's not willing to do this is because monthly cost of 2.6 is negative 19 reasons. And then maintenance, minus 42, is the maintenance slider itself. 1.3x just affects it. They don't have a budget surplus. Wouldn't it be great if we could take another 50 ducats from Castile, and then more importantly, make him pay stupid amounts of money for this army, so long as it's rented out to him, like to the point where he'll actually go into debt to pay for our army. Wouldn't it be great if we could do those things? Boy, do I have a surprise for you. If you subsidize a nation, for 1 month, plus an extra month, because you have to rent the condottieri. So for 2 months, we can subsidize this guy. On the second month, we can rent the condottieri. He's now willing to give us 52 at a 1.4x multiplier, because budget surplus of 6.2 gives 12 extra reasons. Maintenance is still there, so he's giving us a higher maintenance multiplier, which becomes more and more valuable the longer you keep the army rented out. Just gonna rent the troops out now. I'm gonna say attach to me, and yeah, let's see if we can get him to come maybe and attach to us. He's about to get stack wiped just like he did in the alternate universe. Let's improve his relations with the Pope Man over the monthly tick, annual tick. We are suffering some attrition to this. This is costing us 100 manpower per month, which is basically all that we gain, but we're going to autos. So you're just gonna like march at the enemy. Smart. Very smart. We're gonna cancel the condottieri, or cancel the subsidies now. It's easy to forget to do that though. Castile doesn't want to be alive, is the issue. Where that exploit can be like the most valuable is if a country has a huge amount of like monies like amassed, but they don't have any income. You can temporarily give them the income necessary to then allow you to empty their treasury. Now, I don't want to actually like risk my army, so we're just going to sit in the mountain. We're just going to be a, thorn in Aragon's side. We might harass the war goal if possible. The war goal is Albuquerque. So we'll consider marching here. Check to see if that picture is uploaded yet. It is. Someone was asking a minute ago what's Pancake doing. This is what he's doing right now, and it's the cutest I think I've ever seen him. Ready? Ready? That's right next to me, right next to the keyboard. The keyboard is right here. He's just sitting in a box, on his back, in a box. Oh, he's so cute. So we're going to go back and forth between Albuquerque, which is the war goal, and Teruel, which is the safest possible place we could keep our army. The reason for that is that we're going to prevent Aragon from getting his ticking war score and intentionally try to cause Castile to get a ticking war score in his favor. It'll just cause Castile to have higher enthusiasm and not want to peace out for longer. Looks like Toledo's falling very quickly, though. Meanwhile, we're fabricating claims on Castile. Or we're spying on Castile. We don't actually have... I don't really need to get more claims on them right this second. Let's get the next fort started in Burgos. We have very, very low army tradition because we don't have any forts. It's super important that we get some forts. Royal marriage is up with him. No point in worrying about like getting this occupation. So I'm just gonna wait for that monthly loot tick, and then we're gonna go fight that 3-stack. Hopefully we get a stack wipe on it because he's got no leader. Might even cause him to break the siege if he sees the battle. It's possible. Apparently Castile's just stolen our cardinal. We've gained corruption. What a jerk. How do you know how many forts you need? Exclamation, why forts? You need 1 fort at the current fort tier, like the current tech level for your forts per 50 development that you own. And it'll give you 1 army tradition per year. Basically, forts are good. You need forts. Any provinces we could occupy that would not get returned to him? We could take Alicante. We need to make sure that Castile has at least one province occupied in Aragon, so that Aragon can't 100% him. Right now, Aragon has 70%. As soon as he gets this, he'll be at like 99. If we occupy Alicante for him, then he doesn't have 100, and it'll cause the AI to not peace out as quickly. Here's another little minor detail. We are currently 26. France is a queen regent for a week. Ooh. Weak claimed heir. Got a weak claimed heir. We could maybe claim France's throne here. Anyway, whoever sends the royal marriage request is who determines when it dies. So if you accept a royal marriage request from an AI and they're 50 and you're 20, then when their character dies, the royal marriage ends. On the other hand, if you just decline, nothing bad happens, and then you send, then you can make it based on your age. In this case, since it's a royal marriage with the Regency, royal marriage will end when Henry de Valois dies, and he's only 13, so we're older than he is. So I'm going to say no, and then just turn right around and send it to him. I think, from my experience, it's pretty much always better to be to keep the royal marriage interval shorter. On monarch death, succession war between France and Aragon. That's us falling into a personal union because we have no heir still, because we killed our last babby. Oh crap, he got that fort. Not ideal. I want to get out of here. We do not have access through Granada. Can we get access? Yes. We've got relationship slots. Should definitely get access here and then try to just go retreat into the mountains. Nope. Okay, so we got the peace deal already. Castile cedes Murcia, Jaén, Albuquerque, and gives monies 250 ducats. Okay, well we got some money for renting out the troops, and we did slightly hinder Aragon. He now wants the entirety of the Iberian Peninsula. I'm not surprised. Murcia is more like Morthia. Morthia? Murcia. That's a weird way of saying that. Now, the troops are still rented out to Castile. I'm gonna go ahead and just, drill. Oh, damn, he canceled them. Well, let's go hang out in defensive terrain at least. We need one more fort in order to get our fully maintained forts that we were just talking about. The states are pretty well assigned. Maybe we could do one more here. Burghers have declining power of the merchant class, but that's temporary. 10 years. I think within 10 years we'll have grown enough. Also, I think a while back I was able to do this click, which we should definitely do. We'll use that money to start a fort in this mountain. What happens to the Iberian wedding when there's like 6 Iberian countries? It's between the two tags, Castile and Aragon. The Iberian wedding can go Aragon over Castile if the player is Aragon, but otherwise I believe it can only fire for Castile. And I think that Castile has to have a minimum number of provinces, so at this point he might not be eligible. We can Google it real quick if you want. Trigger conditions are Castile has to have 25 cities. Yeah, he's too small now. He can't get it. Actually, it looks like, hold on, reading a little bit deeper, Aragon is AI controlled, was not player controlled, is not a subject, is a neighbor. Differing genders. It could actually still fire for Aragon. If I'm reading that correctly. You love how far apart our playstyles are. What would you say is like notably different right now? What would Flory have done? Well, I already know what Flory would have done. He would have taken out tons of loans and like probably conquered all of Portugal in that last war. Probably, right? 67, July of 67. So we're like 2.5 years away from being able to attack Castile again ourselves. France, could you please pay off that loan? How is it possible that you still have one loan? Are you doing this on purpose, France? I think France is intentionally keeping one loan just so that I can't sell him the institution. He's just like, I don't want to give you my money. Even though he doesn't have the damn institution, he probably really wants it. Oh, he's almost got it anyway. Damn it. Well, it's fine. It's fine. Flory would have just inherited Ming. Flory would have attacked him. Oh, okay. Interesting. Third time we get offered this, another, like, scripted baby. We're having a very difficult time making babies. Is our character, like... I mean, what the hell? We're fertile. Chance for new heir plus 50%, and yet we've not had a single baby. No, we had one baby, and I killed him. But this is the third event to give us a baby. 3, 4, 3. It's slightly above average, but it's pretty bad to have a weak claim. No. A lot of things that make you different, but I thought about it when you were talking about state interactions. Okay, professionalism's up to 2%. Not enough to slacken standards or anything. Manpower's about halfway. Got some Fraticelli heretics for Aragon. It'd be great if Austria wouldn't defend Aragon, I would just absolutely do the war. I'm pretty confident France could hold off Austria, but I don't think I can beat Austria on my own. Aragon has declared war upon Provence. Beautiful. That's so amazingly good for us. So Aragon has rebels, and he's just attacked Provence, who's allied to Florence and France, which means Aragon's fighting France on our behalf without Austria being involved. France is a secondary participant, so he's not really going to get much out of the war, but he's going to go beat his head against Aragon for a while and just, you know, help us out. That's so amazing. Another opportunity to rent out Condottieri as well. We can rent out the Condottieri to France this time, although I would have preferred to, you know, knowledge share him. Aragon, but why? Well, he's a militarist. They will seek to expand aggressively at the expense of their neighbors and are far more likely to go to war. And he's a sinner. He loves to raise and plunder, whatever that means. It's probably related to those two things. Plus his assessment of relative strength, which doesn't make sense to me. I mean, there's a tech advantage for France. Hell, there's a freaking fort right there that he's gonna have to siege before he can even get to Provence. He declared over the province of Provence, which is a non-fort province. All right, we're gonna harass him by preventing him from getting his cores done. There's no fort in this area, so we'll just occupy these provinces, and then he'll just sit on the overextension. We also want to buy a little bit of time for the Aragonese army to get fully committed to whatever it is they're doing, so that they don't come harass us. France's willingness to give us 26 ducats. He won't give us more than that because war balance looks good, and he's still got 212 ducats in debt. We could subsidize him to maybe get the number up a little bit higher, but I'm just gonna rent him out. I just want to harm Aragon. We will be declaring war on Aragon very soon now, based on that. But we'll wait until after the 18 months are up so that we can, you know, benefit from the upfront money from France while also getting occupations in that, you know, wouldn't have otherwise happened. That army's not trying to come fight me. It's just trying to unsiege that province. I'd rather not fight it myself. Try to keep those 2 cav from joining up if I can. That'd be nice. We could pick off the Aragonese cav. I'd love to do that. Nice. So he's sending 2 cav over to Jaen. We can get access through Granada again. You're gone both on the 14th. I want to go fight those 2 cav. We'll finish this occupation. I can't split the army to threaten that Navarra army, which is unfortunate. 2 cav on their own, though, is like super easy for us to beat. Time for monarch points. Okay, we have new men-at-arms. We're not going to do those until a little bit safer to do so. 192 men to kill 2,000 horses is a really good deal. I think we're in a safe enough position we can upgrade the unit pips now. We'll go with offensive morale. Problem is that declaring Austria's still going to join, who won't be to stop by France. That's true. And that's why we wait. We shall name him Pancake. Our heir is Pancake de Valois. No, the heir is our kitten. Mr. Kittens. Disputed succession with France. Now that we have Babby, on monarch death, a noble from House de Valois, blah blah blah, to the throne. I think we could field a few more troops now. We have the manpower for it. Get 4 more infantry. They won't be able to participate unless I rent out Canatieri to Provence, which I might be able to do. Having 2 separate stacks is going to be a good option. Lucca apparently wants to come fight us, probably because we have low morale at the moment. So this is tricky. All right, here's another little educational thing. The morale recovery tick happens exactly on the 1st. If 2 armies are set to engage on the 1st, then that means that you do not get the recovery tick. Unfortunately, I can't scorch this province because I don't own it, because this is a condottieri stack. But if this were a war where it was my occupation, what you would want to do here is scorch the province so that he arrives at least 1 day later, and then you would get an extra recovery tick. So that would have been way, way better if I could actually Scorch Earth to do it, but whatever. We'll still win the fight. I don't know why he thinks he can win. 10 on 7 with a 4-2-4. Lucca's got a... He's on Tech 5. Like, it doesn't matter that we're on low morale. We're going to win this fight. Probably, he says, as he loses the fight, depending on dice rolls. No, we still won. Morocco just did a thing. They declared war on Tlemcen. Okay. Tlemcen's getting ripped apart. Iberia being a proper mess? Well, it's largely a lot to do with what I've been doing at this place.